Hello YouTube, my name is Daniel Walter Scott, and this next video is a free extract from my larger InDesign advanced course that you can find on bringyourownlaptop.com. Hi there, in this video we're going to learn how to do pie charts and line charts and bar graphs and all sorts of awesome charting type things. Well, kind of. You can't really do them in InDesign, so I'm going to show you all the tricks and techniques to create them and bring them in to be used. All right, let's get on with it. Okay, so the bad news is that InDesign doesn't make graphs itself, so we have to use something else, and there's kind of three main ways of doing it. One is with Illustrator, one is with Excel, and one of them is using a font like Chartwell. Now, it's not going to be a detailed explanation of how to use all of them, okay, because I guess Illustrator is a separate program, so is Excel, but I want to show you how quick and easy it can be to use those options. So I'm going to make a new page on page 5 here, and let's look at Illustrator. Okay, Illustrator has a graphing tool. Okay, it's down here on the left. Okay, and you've got all the different kinds of graphs potentially. We're going to do a column graph. Okay, and all you do is drag out the size you want it to be. Okay, and then you fill this little data sheet in. It's kind of like using Excel. So in here I might say 40 is the first one. You can copy and paste this from Excel. Okay, so I'm just making a random chart here. Okay, and when you've got the bits you want, click on the little tick, and you've got a column chart. Now you can grab your white arrow and click on just this first part and say, I want you to be you. So we can select on our white arrow here, click on this first option, go to properties, and in here the fill is going to be my Maynooth green. Okay, and I can go through and just color, change the fonts, change the colors in here, get it ready. Then all I need to do is copy and paste it. Now, if I copy it with this little data sheet open, if I copy it and try and paste it into InDesign, it just doesn't come. Okay, it doesn't work. So you gotta close him down and then just select it, go to edit copy, and then edit paste in here, and you get it. The cool thing about doing it from Illustrator is that I can go to my object and I can ungroup them. Okay, and they all become like separate pieces, and I can go through here and change the font and make some adjustments and kind of work with it. It's nice and editable in InDesign. Now, we're not going to go through every feature in Illustrator. I've got an Illustrator course. Go check that out. We'll go through all the different Illustrator parts. So say Illustrator is not your thing and you've been sent stuff in Excel. So let's look at that. I've got a sheet you can open up here called chart data. Okay, and I've made a little graph in here. Now, this is not going to work unless it's in Excel. Google Sheets doesn't work this way. Okay, so I've made a little chart in here. Basically, all you do is select all the data you want in your sheet, go to insert, and then here there's options for different graphs. Okay, and I've picked, in this case, this first line graph, and it just generates it. Now, it's not going to be editable in InDesign. So what you need to do is in here, I'm going to go and pick home, and I'm going to pick the font in here. Okay, so I've got to do this stuff. What did I pick? Arial Hebrew. Okay, it's probably not what I want. I'll just pick regular Arial. Okay, so you can click on here, double click the line, you can go into format. Again, this is not going to be like a full how to use graphing tool in Excel. I've got a course on that. Okay, so I've got a full on Excel course if you want to jump into that one. But you can do some basic formatting in here, probably without any help. Now just click the outside, copy it, paste it into InDesign. And the nice thing about it is that it is vector. Okay, so when I scale it up, it's not going to pixelate. You'll see if I zoom in, it's all still lovely vector graphics. Okay, so whichever way you like to use out of those two, either Excel or Illustrator, those are great ways. I'm going to show you this third option because it's quite useful. I'm just going to drag him off to the side here. So this is a font-based way. Okay, so this actually can be done in InDesign. You don't have to go to any other product, but you do need a paid font. And the fonts are about $25, okay, US dollars. And where do you get them from? You can buy them from lots of places. Currently, Typekit doesn't sell them, so you're going to have to go to somewhere else. I use myfonts.com quite often. And what you're looking for is one called Chartwell. Okay, so I found Chartwell here. It's a bit of a gallery of the kinds of things you can do with it. It's pretty impressive. Okay, some really nice graphs. Now, you can buy, under buying choices, you can buy the entire font family. Okay. And that's 7 different fonts. It's bar charts, line charts, the works, okay, for about 120. I think it's about the same in US dollars. Mine's in euros. What I wanted though is just underneath, you can buy individual styles. So I've just purchased pie charts, okay, and I bought it. Now it added VAT for me, so it added up to about 30 euros, but still, I think it's still an okay price for what it does. Okay, so in InDesign now. So you download it, install it like any other font. Now, the way this works is it works on ligatures. Now, if I'll draw out a type box, actually I'm going to Zoom in. Okay, so what works is you need to have numbers that add up to 100. So let's say I've got this plus this. As long as they equal 100, it's going to work. The other thing you need to do is every font, okay, or every number group needs to be a different color. So I'm going to pick, I've already got green, I'll use pink, and I'll use our yellow. Okay, so I've got 3 different colors. Now what we need to do is we need to change the stylistic set. Okay, so with the black arrow down the bottom here, I've got this little O down the bottom. And now I get to switch it from, actually, that's not going to work at all. First of all, we need to select the font and make it Chartwell, not Roboto. Chartwell Pies, there it is there. Okay, yours might already be now loaded as a pie chart, but if yours is like mine and it hasn't, okay, now I can click on this little O down the bottom and click on Stylistic Set 1. Ready, steady. I'm amazed. I love that just works that easy. If you can't see any of this down the bottom here, you can turn this on by default by going to InDesign, Preferences, Advanced Type. Remember on a PC, it's under Edit, Preferences, Advanced Type. Okay, and you can turn on both of these 2 options down the bottom. That'll give you this little Opentype icon down the bottom, or you can go to Command T, okay, on a Mac or Control T on a PC. And in here, there's the option under Opentype, and you can go to Stylistic Sets and turn it on there. Up to you. Okay, so with it on, it's made a chart, and you can see the slices are made out of the colors. Now it's a bit small, okay, so I can grab my font tool. It's based on the font size. So I'm going to hold down Shift and just raise it up a little bit. Okay, so that is how to use the chart. I'm going to turn it off and show you a couple little options. Okay, I think it's pretty clever though. So you can obviously, let's say I want another slice, and this one's going to go down to 40, and then I'm going to add another slice that's 10, and this one's going to be my purple. So it's easy to add slices. Okay, there he is there. Another thing you can do is you can add a letter to the end. Now the letters add a little disk to the middle. So if I type in an A, lowercase a, and I make it, I'm just going to make it black in this instance. Okay, it should be white, but I want it black so you can see it. And now turn it back on. You can see it's made a little black disk in the middle. So that's what the letter does. And it basically, the letter, the lowercase a, is the smallest dot, and the capital Z is the biggest dot you can make. Okay, so it goes lowercase a to Z, that gets you halfway, and then uppercase A to Z gets you the rest of the way. If that doesn't make sense, let's put in, I don't know, an uppercase M, and I'm going to make it white or paper. Turn it on, so that's going to give me probably the thing I want. See that disk here? So sizing wise, lowercase a to Z gets you about halfway, and then uppercase A all the way through to Z gives you the rest of the space getting bigger. And I picked M, which is kind of in the middle there. Yeah, so that is the CC chart. It works just as easy with the line and bar graph and the rows charts. There's some awesome things there if you want to get the whole library. Now, 2 last things I want to show you is that turning the stylistic set on and off is not bad, okay, not a big drama. You can use the story editor, okay? I very rarely use the story editor. It's under Edit, okay, and there's one called the story editor. And basically this is for people, it's kind of like InCopy. It just means that I see the text without any of the formatting. It's just plain text editing. The cool thing about it is that I can switch this one out. Let's say this one has to be 15 now, and I'll add those other 15 here, 55. You can see it's just maybe an easier way to work using this little option up the top here. Let's say I get rid of the center here. Okay, I'm going to close that down now. And let's say I want to kind of like have a pie chart pushed out. Okay, and by default, I can't do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it with my black arrow, then go up to Type. There's one in there called Create Outlines. Okay, so it's no longer editable. So you might want a copy of this somewhere. So I can't go back into my story editor now and adjust it. But what I can do is I can ungroup it, ungroup. And now I've got lots of little pieces here that I can work with. So I might want some sort of like slice kind of pushing out like this. And then I'll add some labels to it to say what this exciting slice does. Okay, so the rule is you can't do graphs in InDesign. So you need something else to create them. You can either use Illustrator, XL, or one of these Chartwell fonts. It's up to you. They all have their pros and cons. And I guess just use the one that you find that you've got the most skill in. Either Excel, Illustrator, or you can learn how to use this Chartwell font. All right, let's get on to the next video tutorial. Hey there, if you enjoyed the course, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps me and my courseware. If you want to learn more about advanced InDesign techniques, check out my full course on bringyourownlaptop.com. All right, bye now.